Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the Big Podcast Show. Holla at a player.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network proudly brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Big Dog,
Tino Gray,
and the badass Rob Potsy Podcheck, the Potsy and Tino Show.
Holla, holla, player.
Yes, our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. And, of course, that great bring-up and lead-in was from none other than the Holla Famer.
Teddy Long, player.
Player, holla. Six-pack challenge match, player. Who made a wonderful reappearance on Smackdown Live's 1000th episode last night. So yeah, we got to watch that. A lot going on in pro wrestling, but before we get to that, Tino, you've had some private shows going on.
Yeah, I had a few private shows. I can't remember what they were. DJ'd a couple of pool parties, played live music at a couple of pool parties, and that's about it. But I've been, matter of fact, not tomorrow, Friday the 19th, I will be heading out of town. I'm going to the big bad city of Hickory, North Carolina, this Friday. So if you guys are listening or if you're in the area, come on out to the Windy City Sundries. Show kicks off about 10 o'clock. So I'm doing an acoustic duo with my buddy Chris Day. So come out and check us out.
So this isn't the Tino Gray Trio?
Oh, we did that the other night too. You got to come out and see the Tino Gray Trio.
He has such a big ego, folks, that he now has a trio of him.
Now, we discussed this on what was it? Was on Facebook. He says I have a big head. Everything is Potsy. The Pots and Pans Network, the Potsy and Tino Show. So I named my group the Tino Gray Trio, and I have a big head. I have a big head.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean,
as I told you in the message, I'm branding myself. Tino Gray's a brand, brother. So it's 10 Man Entertainment.
Why isn't it the Tin Man Trio?
Because everybody, I've been playing out around Raleigh for around over 20 years, and Tino Gray's, but probably they'll see that, they'll know that. And
right, because they don't know Secondhand Flapjack or
when Chris Overstreet and I get back together and we do Secondhand Flapjack, it's just amazing. I mean, people come out and they're wearing the shirts with the South Park on it. It's fun. You have a South Park shirt, don't you?
No.
You never came out to a show.
You never gave me a shirt.
You never came out to a show. Oh, while I'm here, I want a comic book. Did you promise me?
But they're sold out.
But you said you had one pulled aside.
I might have one pulled aside still. So
I'm so excited about that.
We can take care of you on the comic book. But
we need to go watch a new Halloween movie. Speaking of the comic book, I want to go see the Halloween movie
tomorrow night.
I mean, heck, no, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, possible. Yeah.
I get off work at like 5:30.
Since you went and saw Venom. Without me.
I'll be at South Point doing a job fair for my work. So
I wouldn't saw Venom without me. Don't try to gloss over that.
Be glad. So folks, and so I did go see Venom. It's campy, it's hokey, it's the first PG-13 film where I've seen someone eat a head though of something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I take Matthew till he's down to see? I told him I have to watch it before I let him see that because I think some of the stuff might freak him out.
It's well, he's 9.
He's 9. Yeah.
Maybe's okay. I mean,
I take him to see the. So it's different than the Marvel.
No. It tries to be one of those rated R PG-13 movies. Without really being rated R.
Like they're trying to get rid of Deadpool.
Well, Deadpool. Oh, well, the whole Deadpool thing. Did we talk about it?
I think we touched on it. You said Deadpool. They're trying to take it back out.
They're re-releasing it as a PG-13 film, and it's going to have Fred Savage in it but he's going to be dressed as the kid from The Princess Bride.
That's right. We did talk about that,
which is just awesome because there's a picture of Ryan Reynolds dressed up as Deadpool reading him a book, and I think it's even the same book you know, the Princess Bride book that you know, Peter Falk originally read to Fred Savage in the movie. But Fred Savage is still wearing the Chicago sweatshirt, and he's sitting in the bed like a little kid, but it's Fred Savage when he's like 50,
Right.
you know, so it's pretty funny. So over the past couple of weeks, I did some charitable events.
Yes, I know you did. You made the news. I saw your little Facebook feed.
I did. Now, interestingly enough, I didn't make the news for my event. I made the news for the Angus Barnes event.
Yes.
Yeah. So on the 6th, I did 24-hour comic day, where I was actually drawing an entire comic book in 24 hours.
So how did that go? We haven't done the show in a couple of weeks since you did that event, so I've been meaning to ask you.
I completed it.
And how'd you feel?
I was exhausted. I did so you know, every time I do like YouTube or whatever, and I'm doing it by myself, I try to just make it snippets, like 5-minute things, instead of like, you know, like an episode of Potsy and Tino like we do. And it's weird because, like, you know, everybody's like, oh man, you should totally like stream you doing the artwork and everything. And I'm like, you have no idea how boring that would have been at 5 a.m.
Yes.
Trying to set up the camera, and not to mention the ability to try to keep yourself to a page an hour time frame.
Oh.
You know, like, and just so everybody knows, like comic books have an art team that works on them, and a writing team a lot of times. You know, it might be a writer, or, you know, multiple writers or whatever. But literally, like, I had to come up with the plot, the script, and everything, like, in that 24 hours, and then draw it all. So, and it normally takes each person about 20 days to complete their portion of the comic. So like, after you finish 2 or 3 pages, you send them on to your inker. Your inker ends up inking them. Then the colorist colors them. Well, I didn't do a color book because I just didn't have time to do it. But you know, I did some ink wash and stuff to actually give it some depth and shading and everything else. The book turned out pretty fun. It obviously looks like it was done fast.
So what was your plot? I didn't mean to ask you, what was it about?
So I did a story that was junior high horrors related, and it was all the kids doing what they were trying to figure out, like how to come up with their Halloween costumes. So, you know, obviously doing it in the first week of October, it just made sense to do a Halloween based episode of the comic, and the whole thing was about how Mikey, you know, his name's Mikey Holiday, and obviously resembles a very holiday-oriented character.
Also named Michael.
Well, his name's Mikey in the comic, but he doesn't want a Halloween costume. He just doesn't want to portray Halloween this year, and everyone's like, why not? And the whole, you know, like, he doesn't speak, so of course he has to sit there and remind people. So different panels were like the costumes that he did the past couple of years. So one was a really weird clown that likes to float. One was a creature from a lagoon somewhere. And then another one made him look like JV because he was wearing a hockey mask.
Gotcha.
And you know, in the first one you just see him like, ah, and then the second one he's like, ah, and then in the third one he's just standing there, and JV's looking at him and he's like, not cool, bro. You know, but then by the end, they trick him into going to the mall to find a Halloween costume at Carpenter's Halloween store, and I don't want to ruin it for everybody, because what we've decided to do is Billy, the inker, colorist, and additional art guy, is actually going to color it and everything, so we can put it in the trade paperback edition of the book. So I don't want to ruin it, but he does finally like get excited about Halloween again, and picks out his Halloween costume, and it's just to me it was hilarious. I'll put it that way. But everyone else might not really like it. I don't know, but
you got to tell me when this is over. Because I got now I'm like, what is it?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
what is it?
Anybody who actually knows the lore of the Halloween movies can probably guess the joke. But you know, so if you don't, then, you know, obviously you'll want to wait and pick up the trade paperback when it comes out. But it's just going to be a nice little addition in that, you know, because oftentimes a trade paperback is just taking everything that you've already done and then just repackaging it and reselling it. So this will actually be a brand new 20-page story that people can read in that. So
You did this for charity. So were people bidding on it? I can't remember what you said.
So there were a couple people that basically per page would either give $1, $2, or whatever. And then the comic shop that I was doing at basically had dollar comic books that every dollar that went to those dollar comics they were just giving to charity.
Got it.
And then they gave 5% of their overall sales to charity as well. So the entirety of it we ended up raising I think $705 or something.
Nice.
So it was pretty awesome. It was all for Make-A-Wish. And then this past Sunday, my sister and my mom with the Angus Barn do this thing called the Walk for Hope every year. And like you already mentioned, I made the news. Don't know how. We were with our friend John. We call him Fubar, and John's dad. And we just happened to be walking as WRAL was filming for the Walk for Hope. And they must have got me at the one point that I didn't have cramps in my legs because I'm just trucking along instead of like
so
cutting up or whatever.
Where'd you guys walk? You said there's a steep hill at the beginning and at the end.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that. So anybody who's been to the Angus Barn in Raleigh on Highway 70, you basically come down off of 540 and there's an entrance into the Angus Barn, but there's like this uphill right there. And the walk actually comes out of the parking lot of the Angus Barn and then goes up to William Olmsted Park.
Got it.
And literally, I don't know how they've manufactured this, but you come out and you immediately have to go like a quarter mile uphill, right? So like you see a treadmill behind me. You know how treadmills have like the settings to Well, it literally is like this setting when you want it here at the beginning, and your legs are just but then there's a downhill and then another uphill. And then you finally get to the park, you make a right into the park, you go up about halfway into the park, and then you come back down and you come back. Well, because there's that one downhill in that whole thing, while you're going up and then down and then up, there's a up, then down, then up, then a little bit down right at the end of the walk. So it is insane, like how much uphill walking this thing is. But my sister raised like $1,700 for Walk for Hope this year. It's all for mental health awareness and trying to beat mental illness. And we've done it. I don't know. I know that I've walked the last 3 years at least. And it's funny. My mom's always like, she works at the Angus Barn, who actually sets it all up, and she's like, well, you get a free T-shirt, and it's like
a free steak.
Love that. Well, they feed you too, but it's burgers and pulled pork and everything else. Free beer.
Steak.
Yeah, no free steak. No free steak.
It's like going to McDonald's.
But interesting fact about the Angus Barn is that their burgers are actually made out of the leftovers of the steak. So you technically are eating like a steak burger when you're doing that. But I stay away from the burgers just because like when you're cooking that many burgers, they're never good.
Yeah.
The pulled pork was delicious. And then I had like a hot dog and that was about it. I got my 15,000 steps in that day. I was like, yeah.
I bet you did.
Yep. And my leg cramped up on the way up the very first hill and I had to walk through it. And you could see me like the entire group started going away and I just started falling back. And I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. This is going to be terrible. It's good. But, it's for a great cause. So we love doing it. And so that's what I had going on. Looks like the second issue of the comic's going to come out late November. It's weird because with Thanksgiving being in the middle of the month this time, it's like you don't want it coming out the week of Thanksgiving. You almost don't even want it coming out the week after Thanksgiving, but it looks like it's going to come out the week after Thanksgiving for issue 2. But we have a second print coming up for the first one, so anybody that wasn't able to get into the stores to pick up the first book will be able to get into the stores to pick up the second one. All right, so that's what's going on with me. Cool. Day job, I can say right now, holiday hiring's going on. If you know where I work and you're looking for a job, go ahead and apply. we're live on YouTube right now, and tomorrow we'll actually be having a job fair at South Point Mall today. I think we did one at Crabtree Valley Mall. So, all right, pro wrestling.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's. I don't even care what's happened on Raw or SmackDown really for the past couple weeks, except a couple things. One of the great things about doing the October 6th 24-hour comic was that from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. they actually did the Super Show. So I got the Super Showdown or whatever they called it. So I got to watch that. I actually got myself far enough ahead on the comic to where it was like I could just sit and watch wrestling. And
What'd you think?
Most of the show was pretty good.
Yeah.
The people went out and actually delivered on the promise of trying to deliver a great show. I thought it was weird that, it was 2 days before they turned Bobby Lashley heel.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why.
And now he has injured Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So who's next?
Anybody else? Probably Elias.
You think he's going to injure Elias?
Yeah, he's going to injure.
Except Elias is a heel, so they'd have to accidentally bump into each other.
Yeah, true.
So Bobby Lashley, John Cena against Elias and Kevin Owens. Apparently Kevin Owens, injured now, so they had to write him off. He didn't look hurt when he was in that match.
I thought it was a work. Now he did kind of hold his knee, but I thought it was just a work. I thought he was working and trying to make you think he was hurt, and of course he'd come back Monday night and just like wrestling, they're magically.
He ran around the ring against trying to catch Leo Rush for a while. So maybe he did hurt his knee, but I thought that was a little bit weird.
I didn't like Cena look. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah,
he's like slim down and the hair, and he's got the bald spot.
Well, remember when The Rock first left to become an actor, he slimmed down. Like he dropped like 40, 50 pounds, and it was like 230, I think. And he tried to become an actor. And John Cena's trying to do that. Oh, I'm going to be in some comedies, and I'm going to, at some point he's going to realize that his true calling
is wrestling.
But no, his true calling as an actor is going to be action movies. Like at some point he's going to be like, that works.
Yep.
I can make a lot more money doing this. I can still entertain people and cut my hair down. Because the long hair look, like, what's going to be really weird is when someone says, we're going to need you with a beard. Because I don't think John Cena's ever had a beard. I don't even know if he could grow one. With all the estrogen he probably takes to keep his boobs looking like that, Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna get some hate mail for that one. So Super Showdown. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Okay.
Triple H, Undertaker, last time ever.
Last time ever. Yes, last time ever. But you can catch DX against the Brothers of Destruction.
Well, like I will say that if they hold true to that, Tommy Dreamer says if he says it's the last time ever that he does something, he does not do that rendition of whatever. So when he said no more like barbed wire matches or whatever, right. he has not had a barbed wire match since then. Now I kind of, it's funny though, I kind of like how they had the Undertaker disrespect them at the end, which is why we've got Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement. It's got a cool feel to that, except
what was the point?
They're too old.
All of them.
Like I have faith, which is funny I say that because like Shawn Michaels, yeah. I have faith that Shawn Michaels can deliver. I mean, the guy can still do a sweet chin music to a 7-foot tall guy and actually hit the neck. Like he can still get the leg up there. So I'm impressed by that. But I worry that his efforts to make it a great match will hurt him more.
Triple H can still carry on a good match too, though.
But you could. So this match itself was just slow.
I think it's the Undertaker slowed it down.
Well, absolutely.
He's got bad hips. I mean, he's older, and Kane can still go a little bit too, but he was a little. He was off too.
Has Kane ever been able to go?
When he was in his prime.
Like, I don't think he's ever put on like a 5-star match like any of these other guys have. So adding him to it, like, my feelings are this. I think that what they should do is they should trick everybody into thinking it's going to be a tag team match, and then throw in some of the young guys. So my idea
That's Survivor Series, though.
Well, right. Because, see, what I think should happen is this. They should have, because Triple H and Shawn Michaels have been going like this.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that they ought to have Gallows, Anderson, and Finn Balor come down and join DX. Okay? And then at the same time, because we've got that supernatural team of The Undertaker and Kane, have the Wyatt family get back together.
Bray Wyatt quit.
What?
Bray Wyatt quit.
Bray Wyatt quit?
Like about a month or so ago.
No. I saw something that said they're repackaging.
Oh, I saw something that he quit.
No, Matt Hardy quit.
So Bray Wyatt.
What?
Yeah, we'll look it up later. But yeah, Bray Wyatt quit. But that'd be good.
Absolutely. Like, and then you'd actually have workers doing the work, and you'd have the spot fest that you need at the end with the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. But even set it up where it's still just the tag team match, and those 6 guys outside the ring end up getting together, and then that sets up a Survivor Series match 5-on-5, where my whole idea here, which would never happen in the WWE because it's too good. It's too good, guys.
Too good.
No,
they listened to this. We've established.
Well, since we've been on YouTube, I don't know if they have, but
you're still putting it on the.
I am still putting it on
iTunes.
on the iTunes. So if you're listening, Vince, I know that you love your hometown crowd here in Raleigh. He does. Vinny's Steakhouse is named after him.
Yeah, he went to ECU.
He did, absolutely. So I know if you're listening to this is what you should do. You should follow my idea there. Have those 6 guys come down. Figure out how to get Bray Wyatt back on the show if he's not working for you anymore. Put them all together. Make that match happen so that at Survivor Series it literally comes down to Finn Balor, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, and then you have Finn Balor turn on Shawn Michaels.
Why?
Well, you could set up Finn Balor versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania and have him be the Demon Finn Balor. Then you're actually still allowing it to be the Supernatural versus the Heartbreak Kid. Or like because I love Finn Balor, I think he'd be the perfect worker for Shawn Michaels. There's only 2 other guys that I think that you should throw in there if you're going to do WrestleMania. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. Yeah. So all that considered, and I still want to see Daniel Bryan versus The Miz at WrestleMania.
You will.
Well, not if the new rumor of Shawn Michaels might not make this a one-time deal.
Well, no, I think no, but I don't think you'll see Daniel and I don't think you'll see Daniels and Michaels at WrestleMania because I'm calling it now. We've always said that one of them, either Daniel or Miz, are going to win the belt, hold it to WrestleMania to face each other, have that blow-off match. Daniels is going against AJ Styles at Crown Jewel.
Right.
I think Daniels, because AJ's had it a while. I think
Daniels going to win. Yeah.
And he holds it through WrestleMania for the Miz to win. Miz wins Royal Rumble.
I can't see them putting that much behind the Miz again. Like I love the Miz, you know that. Like as a top heel, like I hate him so much that I realize that is my love of the Miz character. I've met him, so I definitely feel for him and think that he is a top tier heel. But I almost think that they do that at Royal Rumble.
The Miz and Bryan.
And Bryan at Royal Rumble. You have the Miz win the championship at Royal Rumble. I don't know who they have him face. I don't know who they do that with yet.
Shawn Michaels interferes, causing Daniel Bryan to lose the title to lead them to WrestleMania.
I can't ever see Shawn Michaels being heel again. Like
he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it as a heel. He could. Daniel Bryan.
He could be the special guest referee.
That, or he could just come out and distract Bryan. He never has to get in the ring. I say with the 50-50 booking that they like to do, Daniels comes
it's like
out
30-30-30 booking now.
Daniels comes out during one of Shawn Michaels' matches and causes him to lose somehow by distracting him. Shawn Michaels comes out at Royal Rumble to return the favor
See, I don't know if Shawn Michaels is good at it. Shawn Michaels might do the Royal
Or he
Rumble.
doesn't even have to come out. All they have to do is hit Sexy Boy to distract Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, but why would they? Like, why would they do that? You know, that's why if they used him as a special referee, I could see it. You know, like,
well, that's been done. I mean, him as special referee and screwing somebody with him and The Rock and Triple H. Remember, The Rock was going to win. He super kicked The Rock for Triple H to win the title.
Yeah.
That's been done. So I don't think
Well,
they might rehash it.
And he did it. And he did it to the Undertaker with Bret Hart.
Yeah.
And he did it.
I mean, I know WWE likes to recycle things, but there comes to a point where just stop. You don't need to see it again.
But I don't think we're gonna see. So we might see Michaels do a tag team match, then we'll probably see him do a singles match. You know, if he feels good afterwards. So I just don't think we're gonna see, you know, all this other stuff go on. Like I can't see them making him heel. I can't see them turning Daniel Bryan heel, which is why I want to talk about Daniel Bryan's wife, the fresh heel, Brie Bella, Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey cut a good promo Monday.
Well, they both did. You have to like Nikki held her own in that promo. She sat there and kept like Brie kind of messed it up. I'm not gonna lie about that. But Nikki kind of did what she was supposed to, and then Ronda had she looked like she was gonna cry through half of that. Like even when she was talking, she looked like she was gonna cry. Like I can't remember my lines.
She was so passionate about what she was feeling. She was so angry that she was trying not to cry.
But I gotta throw in my John Cena line just to hit it.
Dude, that line.
Except they're broken up.
That line. No, that wasn't the point. The point that she was making was that they got
the
famous.
The only reason why
famous were riding the tails of their men. But that line made me. I did pop. I was like, oh.
Except I'm gonna say that Total Divas was started before the Daniel Bryan revolution.
Yeah, but Brie didn't really.
They were both on it the whole time. That's why they came out with Total Bellas. Which, by the way, yeah, the ratings on that are because they got people watching the men, they've got people watching the women. You know, now it's not like Daniel Bryan's a sex object or anything, but
if you like goats,
boo. Anyways, so all right, so we've talked about that. We've talked about what about Becky Lynch with Edge last night?
You skipped.
I skipped a lot.
Oh, Dean. I want to talk about Dean.
Oh, okay. So Monday Night Raw.
What's your thoughts? What's your take on it?
So my feelings are that if we were just going to break the Shield up, why did we put them together?
They wanted that because they were trying to. They did it to help Roman because people were booing Roman. So they figured if they put him back in the Shield, maybe they could get people to cheer him and get behind him as the face, which they still aren't. So when the Shield's music, Roman. Yeah, when the Shield music hits, people lose their minds. When Seth talks, yay! Dean talks, yay! Roman grabs the mic, boo! So it's not helping him at all.
Is it all the John Cena thing though of let's go Cena sucks now? Is it we're just gonna boo him because we're gonna boo him? Like it's not because he's a bad worker. Yeah. It's not because he's actually terrible on the mic anymore. Like we're gonna talk about Bautista here in a minute.
Yes.
You know, but is Roman that bad?
No.
The only thing that I say they absolutely have to get rid of is this whole thing. Like get rid of that and Roman's fine. Like what is he catering to? The reason why the People's Elbow worked is because The Rock made it so charismatic.
Yes.
Five Knuckle Shuffle, it's because you want to hate John Cena that they actually buy into the Five Knuckle Shuffle. You know, the Hogan leg drop, same thing. You know, the you know, that whole thing.
What the hell's wrong with you? Yeah, don't do that. That scared me.
Anyways, that whole stuff, like it worked for them because they had charisma. Like Roman was always the non-talking, just beat him up guy in the Shield.
Which is why I go back to they need to put him with Heyman. Don't give him a mic. Let Heyman do the talking for him and let him be that silent, badass, ass-kicking dude that he was.
But did you notice when they teased that before SummerSlam is the only time that the boos for Roman were drowned out by the boos for Paul Heyman?
Okay.
And the reason why is because we don't want to cheer Roman and we do want to cheer Paul. Because we realize how good Paul is on the mic. We want to cheer Paul, but we can't cheer Paul if he's with Roman. Yeah. That's why I find it hilarious that they've actually gotten Ronda over. Because I thought they were going to have to do the whole Brock Lesnar thing with Ronda.
People love Ronda Rousey, and I don't get it. But they love Ronda Rousey.
I mean, she looks like Shawn Michaels.
Oh my God, she doesn't have the.
Well, and she's not bald at this point. like I got my Shawn Michaels haircut going on. I need the headband and then the cowboy hat.
Yeah,
that's what I need. Okay, so
wow.
So are we done talking about Raw?
I thought it was cool that Tamina came back and her and Nia Jax went at it.
I loved it.
That was awesome.
I loved it.
That was awesome.
Like Tamina's never been the best worker, but she doesn't have to be.
You know what I'd like to see if they do come with the rumor of them having the female tag team. How unstoppable would Tamina and Nia Jax be?
They'd have. I mean, it would be the Twin Towers all over again. It would be Akeem, the African Dream, and the Big Boss Man.
The natural disasters.
Yeah. Ooh. John Tenta and Fred, Big Fred
Ottman,
the Shockmaster.
Just don't put a mask on and walk through a wall.
So let's run down some of these people that made their appearance last night. We had John Laurinaitis, we had Teddy, we had Vicky. We had Edge come out and say that SmackDown's kind of his show. He made it that way by doing things like marrying Vicky Guerrero, which everybody booed, and then he said and divorcing Vicky Guerrero, and everybody cheered. My
favorite part whenever I love when Edge comes back anyway, but the favorite part's the announcer. Rated R Superstar. And Edge's like, you better get it right. You see him point at him? And you can tell the announcer changed. I think he has his own personal announcer.
Yeah, it's who is that guy?
It's not Tony Chimmel. Who was it? That's
actually I think it was Tony Chimmel.
Chimmel? It might have been Chimmel.
I think they brought Chimmel out for him.
Yeah.
Because the other guy is the guy that
used to throw Stone Cold the beer.
No, they fired him.
Oh damn!
That was Jimmy. That was the timekeeper. Jimmy the timekeeper.
Stone Cold's gone. They don't need you anymore.
Sorry, ain't throwing beer. I wonder who throws the beer
now.
Try
out for the Mets.
Like the last. Try out for the Mets. So we had Edge. We had who else?
Booyaka.
Oh yeah, Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio proving that the World Cup is an international event.
Because before it wasn't. And then we had a McMahon dance break, which was the awesome part of the night. Oh my God, I loved it.
Absolutely. Like we were both talking about how old Vince looked, but Vince could still go in the ring.
Yes.
Like he looks like his not sleeping for the last 30 years has finally caught up to him.
But it still amazes me. So through this whole time, no matter whether he's he's
babyface or heel,
the villain, Mr. McMahon. When that first chords of his music hits, everybody popped. And I was telling you, it amazed me last night.
They're all singing.
The whole arena, no chance in hell. And Vince was getting into it. I mean, he was like, and he did the power walk, and he got to the ring, and then they were doing, and R-Truth was in there directing him like he's the choir director. No chance in hell.
I have to give it to R-Truth.
I love the Truth TV.
Truth TV is
my God, and Carmella.
But Truth has made himself relevant
again
in a world where like he hasn't been relevant since he was in the Survivor Series tag match with John Cena, The Rock, and The Miz.
And I think they're going to keep the Truth TV, keep that segment for him, because I mean I think it started off, it was his 10-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago,
Right,
and that's why they brought him on, and he talked himself into the main event, and then he did a Truth TV. Now he's doing another Truth TV. It's just.
Well, they knew you could tell that the McMahons realized they struck gold, because my favorite part of that wasn't even Vince coming out or any of that stuff. It was literally when Truth looks at Carmella and he goes, "If she don't need no introduction,
That's right.
And then they just got up,
and the crowd eats it up.
And you could tell they didn't choreograph the dance.
No. It was freestyling,
and that's what works so well with it. So absolutely love the open for SmackDown. I was kind of disappointed it wasn't 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Raw could have been cut to 2 hours and I'd have been completely fine with that.
I was disappointed that they didn't show clips. They showed still shots of past episodes.
Well, they did like that long 5-minute thing at the beginning though. That was like those moments,
My favorite still, and I forgot about it until they showed it. It still has to be one of my top 5 favorite SmackDown moments.
Eric Bischoff?
No. It's damn Stone Cold and Booker T in that supermarket. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I watched that last night, so I had to go back on YouTube and watch the whole thing. They had gold with that one too. That was just comedy. That was pure comedy.
Clean up on aisle 6.
What? Price check on Jackass. And the cops come and he's like, he's running up. Price check on Jackass.
Yeah, man.
He came out with that milk. He was like, got milk? And he put a diaper on. Oh, your baby wanted a diaper, and he put powder on it. He said, pardon me, sir, you had a Grey Poupon? They wrecked that supermarket. They wrecked that supermarket.
They wrecked
and
that.
Vince, I'm sure, I'll pay for everything, let it go.
But it was probably like right before they were going to tear down and do a remodel of one anyway. But yeah, that craziness.
Oh God!
So
that was one of my top 5.
So I did think it was a little bit weird that they had Kurt Angle show up.
Well, no, because he was.
I mean, he was a big SmackDown star,
was a general manager.
For years. But where was Christian? Where was Chris Jericho? Now, granted, I know where Chris Jericho is. He was on the cruise.
Yeah, but again, like we talked about the Rock, who this show is named after. Twitter, John Cena.
I was hoping that the John Cena one, holding his camera phone up, taking the whole selfie video while he's still at Super Showdown or whatever. I was hoping that was going to be him walking through Gorilla and coming out coming out to entertain the crowd. And I'm okay that it wasn't. I know that he's busy. I know that The Rock is super busy. Yeah. John Cena's living in China
with Jackie Chan. Well, he's training with Jackie Chan, so during the movie.
Right. But he's been living there for 3 months.
Yeah.
And now he's here.
Speaking Mandarin.
Well, he's been speaking Mandarin for a couple of years.
He's got the 6th move of doom, which is pretty much just a backhand.
Yeah, well, Corey Graves sitting there calling it a or whatever he called it. Like I didn't even.
He just bitch slapped you. That was...
Corey Graves, if you're watching the show, please tell us what it is again. I watched it like 4 times and I still couldn't understand what you said.
Corey, by the way, last night Corey Graves with the glasses, looking all professional with this. And then, you seem like a professor.
Speaking of glasses, let's get into it. Let's talk about Bautista. Yeah, so Legacy. I'm sorry,
no.
Evolution. I was kidding. Just wanted to see your interest on that.
Ooh-atsy.
Pootsie. So all right. So
that would have been Pootsie in the show. That'd been funny. Poots.
So Motorhead starts up.
Was it Lemmy or was it the Thing singing?
It's always the Thing singing. Like I think the Thing's still actually singing, even though Lemmy's not with us anymore.
We always said that Lemmy and Aaron Neville should
have done an album together, a duet.
It would have been a duet. It would have been a quartet.
Oh, they should have done a barbershop
quartet. They used to have little top hats. They paint them red and white.
You're so going to hell for that one. Like I'm normally pretty bad, but that might have been folks, don't ever give Tino one beer.
Oh my God.
So all right. So they all come out. Triple H grabs the mic. Triple H does his whole evolution. Gonna get together, yeah.
I want Evolution. It's the name of the group.
I said Evolution.
No, you said Evolution. How come we couldn't get it right? Evolution.
Evolution is a mystery.
The hell is Evolution?
Well,
That's this guy
evil.
took over.
It was evil.
Evolution.
Because if you notice, they were never good guys. This Evolution.
So Triple H took the mic.
Triple H takes the mic. Triple H drops the hammer, sitting there saying that even though we've got Evolution, the pay-per-view for women coming up in just like
had to plug it.
8 days.
Had to plug it.
Had to sit there and say that his evolution is really what changed the business.
The business.
And then he hands the mic off to
Orton.
Orton sits there and
puts everybody down in Evolution.
Well, he should. He's a heel.
Yeah.
He's a heel, so he should be like, I'm here to do this for me. Yeah. None of you are wrestling anymore. It's all about me.
That's exactly. He said, but he told Batista he spent more time in the makeup chair than in the ring. I was like, oh my God.
Well, it's true though. I mean, Batista go in to be Drax would go in for makeup for like 4 hours.
Yeah, I'm just like,
his matches would last 8 minutes.
True.
So I kind of agree with it.
Then he gives it to Trips.
What's up with that? What's like is he just checking to see if he still got feeling in the arms? What is that? Like,
am I having a heart attack? No, it's good.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, not gonna let Flair.
Yeah. So
there's no
the door. Okay. So so they hand it off to Ric Flair. Ric Flair, woo, 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 woo.
That was his whole promo.
It really was. And then he's like, big man, it's your turn.
And they were chanting Batista, which they're in DC. They're in Batista's hometown anyway.
They're in his hometown. He is a bona fide movie star. And
he's off the juice.
And just a couple weeks ago, he said they hadn't even invited him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. How are you going to have an Evolution reunion without Evolution?
Well, that was before they announced Evolution.
That's like DX, which you don't invite Triple H.
I'd be okay with that.
Or Shawn Michaels.
Well,
you just bring out New Age Outlaws the next spot and let it go.
In China. Just
wheel
her out.
I'm going to hell. But I'm going to hell.
We're already there. I mean, we might as well go one step. Woo!
We might as well. Mamacita. They come out a little.
They did give Eddie his due last night.
You got Benoit in the back seat.
Oh no!
You went there first.
No, I think the show's over, folks. Batista basically looked like he got to talk about what he wanted to talk about the entire time. It went over. It went over really well. I love how he said, "I did this to entertain each and every one of you, and I hope you realize that I love you guys. I love this business. I love what I did. I don't care if you called me Blue-tista
or
Bootista. I did this for you guys." And then, of course, he goes to put Evolution over.
You knew it was coming.
And he sits there and he puts over Randy Orton. He puts over the Nature Boy.
Keep that thing in your pants.
Woo!
Keep that thing
in your pants. And then he started walking like an elephant for a second. And then he goes to Triple H and he goes, what did he say?
And he's saying, this guy. What can you say about this guy? You done it all. You beat everybody there is to beat. But you except me. And then it just got quiet. They just had this awkward, just like stare down. I'm like, are they going to go now? And Nature Boy comes in the middle. Wait, Trips? What the hell? Looking like a fucking Grandpa Baboon. No.
A shaved Grandpa Baboon.
No. He's like, I'm still in charge. I'm still the Nature Boy.
Oh,
you want to shave my red behind?
Man. That just.
But we But we did talk. There was talks over the past few months of Batista has been in an interview saying that he still thinks he has another run,
One
which is
more
why I
run.
asked you, do you think that's setting up Triple H and Batista, and they would have to do it after this tag team match, after the Undertaker Kane DX thing is over? So so you think in a slow burn, slow build, they're bringing Batista back, or is he just going to come one and done, hit a pay-per-view like Brock and Undertaker?
No. So I do think he's got a 6-month run in him. It'll probably start the night after Royal Rumble or something to set up a match with Triple H. He really just wants to wrestle Triple H as a retirement match or whatever. And you know, let's take some things into consideration. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, they could have Undertaker, Shawn Michaels 3 at WrestleMania. It kind of looks like that's really what they're building to.
Well, you said Shawn and
I know what I said, but I think that originally the plan was going to be retirement versus retirement.
Okay.
One of those guys has to rest in peace, you know. And
that's so stupid. Also, because I got 2 words for you, rest in peace. Well, we got 3 words for you.
Well, you said 3.
2 words.
He said
two words.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. And that's all he said at the end of the Smackdown last night. And then he walked away.
Yeah, I thought he was going to choke slam Rey Mysterio.
I did too.
But
I thought he was going to lawn dart him.
That would have been great. You know what? They should have brought the NWO back last night. That would have been okay. I'd been cool with that. But yeah. So just filling people in case they don't know, Kane obviously is only able to wrestle until probably January because he's the
mayor.
He's the mayor of like Cincinnati now.
Yeah.
So
was it? No.
Tennessee, somewhere in Tennessee. Knoxville. So he's got mayoral.
Mayoral. He's gonna get it right.
Yeah.
He got mayor duties.
He got mayor.
He got mayor stuff to do.
He's got budgets to write. He's got taxes to turn.
I think my favorite part, going back to where they announced him as the winner, and he came out of the back to his music to do the acceptance. You see,
what are you talking about?
When he found out he won mayor, right? They were like, "This is your new mayor." Blah 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 blah. They were introducing him, and they started. You hear his music in. Don't want to fire. The flame returns. He walked out to his music.
He actually came out to his. Wow.
He came out to his ring music.
Bro, that's awesome.
Oh God. That's like Jerry Lawler winning the mayor of Memphis and he comes out with the crown crooked on his head.
I'd be okay with that.
Oh my God. What if John Cena wants something?
No. Remember that rap album was actually a thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I've enjoyed being invisible
for 15 years or whatever.
I wish you were.
So okay. So let's talk about some other stuff that's going on in the world of wrestling.
Damn Big Show. Can we talk about Big Show's damn 1 million
heel turn?
And what was the point?
And it was like 1 week after he was the baby face.
I think, and the way they had it, the way at one point, I don't know if you noticed this, little nuances I noticed. Big Show's holding both titles and the bar's pointing at him. I wonder if they're going to be a 3-man group now to go against New Day.
It's kind of what I'm thinking.
So Big Show and probably Big E, the powerhouses.
I think that, well.
So do you think they'll do the Freebird thing like the big New Day does? You think?
Good. You know, it seems interesting because there's enough people out there in the WWE to actually make a 6-man tag title if they wanted to. You know,
bring up your boys. Undisputed Era.
That's the rumor anyway. So other stuff going on in the world of wrestling. Tommaso Ciampa, greatest sports entertainer of all time, bar none. Greatest sports entertainer of all time.
Really?
This guy, by the way, was not ever Ring of Honor World Champion.
No, he was there for a long time too.
He was not ever.
Was he even a tag champion? Was he any champion at Ring of Honor?
I don't think so.
I don't think he had any belts at Ring of Honor.
And you know the championships that he's had are tag team championship gold in NXT and now world champion in NXT. And
he's awesome.
He's platinum good, dude. He's not even gold. He's platinum.
Yeah. Like
that's how good he is. Undisputed Era, rumor is they're going to be moving up to the main roster at some point soon.
We were talking about before, I don't know if it was before, we talked about it earlier with the Bullet Club stopped. They're not selling shirts anymore with all the rumors coming up. They did. I think didn't Marty
Skrull?
He signed with WWE, right? I think he signed.
No, I don't think so.
Was in talks, I think.
No, so all of them are under contract until I think December 31st. So they can't even have conversations. They can do like the short-term things to keep them going or whatever, but I don't think any of them are allowed to even have conversations with WWE yet. Now I guess their agents probably could, because these guys are going to have agents for that.
Yeah.
But the rumor is that they all decided already that the entire Bullet Club, when they make a decision, are all going to make it together. Now I find that interesting because the three guys that really started the Bullet Club are in WWE.
Yeah.
You know, and the fourth guy that was in Bullet Club is in WWE.
Finn.
He started the Bullet Club.
I thought it was AJ and the Good Brothers.
No, AJ took over for Finn when Finn went to WWE. So I think that Bullet Club is going to stay in New Japan. I think that's the whole Tama Tonga thing that they're doing, the firing squad or whatever they're calling it now. I think that's going to stay with them. I think that Bullet Club is going to kind of phase out. But here's the thing that I've been saying all along.
What's the Elite now? They're going to be calling themselves probably.
But here's what I've been saying all along, is that when you go to a Ring of Honor or a New Japan show, that crowd is full of Bullet Club shirts.
Yes.
So you don't want to continue to make Bullet Club shirts. So even if they stay in Ring of Honor or wherever, what they'll probably do is at Wrestle Kingdom, because they'll probably all actually sign short-term contracts to Wrestle Kingdom, which is like the 4th of January. That they'll probably have a match where it is for the rights who gets to be Bullet Club, and they will lose that match if they're leaving. But even if they don't leave, they've got the Elite.
Yeah.
You know, or the Young Bucks are a tag team. Like, they don't need to have like Golden Lovers with Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. So, but right now, the only reason why they would come to WWE, and in fact, I actually said that I think that they will probably sign one more one-year deal with New Japan. I mean, Kenny Omega's the world champion right now. he has to drop the belt if he's going to leave.
Well, then and Cody has 2 belts now. He has the world or the NWA title, and he has he just beat oh god, I can see the dude. Orange Juice, whatever juice.
Yeah, Juice Robinson. He's got the New Japan United States title.
Yes. So he'd have to drop those.
Absolutely. And you know, these guys will drop titles. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly was the Ring of Honor World Champion, went into Wrestle Kingdom and dropped it to Adam Cole. And then shortly after, Adam Cole's contract ran out and he showed up in WWE too. You know, so they've proven that they're honorable enough to continue to work the deal until the deal's out, right? But I don't think Cody's coming back to the WWE anytime soon. Now, granted, I will say this. Let me go ahead and say this. There is so much money in the WWE contract system now. So much money that these guys are going to come in and they're going to command, that they're going to be able to say, WWE, if you want us, we come in as a group. You have to give us some sort of creative control, because they're not going to want to be relegated to mid-card or lower mid-card. And they're going to sit there and say, and this is the dollar amount we want. And
that's what I was going to piggyback off that. That's what I was going to say. We discussed in past episodes that now, since Fox has taken over and Vince is trying to get the corner of the market, he's paying any price to get all these independents in. So I think he's going to spend the money to get a Cody Rhodes, to get a Young Bucks.
Well, we think that, except Vince has never done that. There's only one guy he's done that for, and that's Brock Lesnar. All these other guys. Now, granted, he goes, Shawn, I want you to come back. I want you to work one match. It's going to be $1 million. You know, okay. Shawn Michaels comes back, because if Shawn Michaels makes $1 million, the buys and everything for him coming back are going to give everybody else their payday.
Yeah.
But you got to think that if a guy like Seth Rollins, who is just as good as a Kenny Omega, is getting paid half of what Kenny Omega is getting paid, what's to stop him from saying, I'm not coming to work?
Yeah.
I'll wait until my contract runs out. I'll go to Ring of Honor. I'll do all that stuff that he just did, and I'll go back to being Tyler Black. What's to prevent him from doing that? What's the, like, and here's the funny thing. What the Young Bucks, Cody, Kenny, all those guys are doing is they're making themselves bigger than their sport, right? WWE doesn't want guys like that anymore.
But I would think they would, because look at this. Cody and those guys, the All In thing, they did all that themselves.
Sure.
And promoted it and made. But I think Vince would want something like that. Not in competition. I think he'd want to have the control. Yeah, he probably used them as shit. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't.
He let Matt Hardy do his broken gimmick.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same as he did it when he was in TNA.
Well, Matt Hardy wasn't the same by then. Yeah. But think about it. Like all of this stuff, they can't afford to ostracize the already existing talent who's under contract.
Yeah.
Now granted, they could sit there and say, well, next time the contract comes up, you get to negotiate. But the fact is that they don't want guys that are bigger than the sport, because then they control things. They have power in that situation. Look at Brock Lesnar's contract. Brock Lesnar doesn't want to show up on Monday. He's not showing up on Monday. Well,
Vince lets him get away with that too, though.
Vince does, but normally it's because Vince uses him way too much at the beginning of the contract, and then all of a sudden when you get to the end of the contract, it's well, you got to pay me more for my dates.
He'd probably do pretty much what he wants to.
Yeah, and that's a 2-person deal, because you obviously have to have Paul show up, but Andy's getting flown first class, and he's getting a giant steak at the end of the night and everything else, so but it's interesting, because I think what the Bullet Club is doing is very similar to what Hall and Nash did in the 90s. They're creating the belief that there is a bidding war for them, even if there isn't. Because right now WWE controls everything.
Yes.
They control whether or not Ring of Honor actually has that WrestleMania weekend show at Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Anybody who thinks otherwise is fooling themselves. If they wanted something in Madison Square Garden that night, it'd be in Madison Square Garden. And obviously they want WrestleMania in a football stadium, because it holds 80,000 people instead of 20,000 people. So don't buy the hype there. But would anybody want these guys? Absolutely. They are some of the best workers in the world. They give everything every night, and they get themselves to the top of the card. It's like Batista said, I might not have been the best guy at the beginning, but I busted my ass until I got to, and Edge said the same thing.
Yep.
I wasn't
supposed
to be this guy.
Main eventer.
And I clawed, I bled, I did everything I could to make myself that. Now, I think he's wrong when he says I don't have anything at home. He's got a wife, he's got a kid, he's got an acting career. It was all for show that they were saying that, but he's still got Christian, he's still got Jericho. He might not be friends with the Hardys anymore. Which is weird, because they all live in North Carolina. So
yeah, but Edge, Edge is in the mountains. He's in Nashville. The Hardys are down here in Cameron. So
so Tino, we're hitting the 7 o'clock mark, man.
Yeah.
What do you got? Anything else?
I think that's about it. I'm about ready to tap out.
The only other thing I want to bring up before we finish this is we talked about one of the old school versus new school matches. Well, not even old school versus new school. The Brothers of Destruction versus DX is just old versus old.
Right.
We do have a old and new versus an old match coming up at Evolution. We've
Trish Stratus.
Trish, Lita versus Mickie James and Alexa. And I think this is interesting because you have 3 of the old school women
and 1 new school.
And 1 new school who is injured. So she's
still injured.
She hasn't wrestled. And then you have one of the worst bring-ups of an old school promo of all time by the baby faces in what probably was a basketball heel promo. Talking about practice.
What?
Not a game.
Talking about practice. I'm trying to remember where that
Allen
came
Iverson.
From. Yes.
Allen Iverson, Philadelphia guy, so obviously they were in Philly. So I see where they were trying to bring that in. But the fact is that he was a basketball player who was trying to pull the Terrell Owens thing of, I shouldn't have to give my all in practice.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that match is going to be interesting. I like the fact that it's a tag match because I didn't want to see Trish or Lita exposed in singles matches.
I think Lita could probably still go. I don't know about Trish. Trish might be able to still go too.
Trish is a yoga master.
Yeah,
she is probably more limber than
still go.
Well, we're gonna see.
Yeah.
We're gonna see, and I hope they can because every time Trish has been back in the ring since since she actually retired, if you will.
She's blonde again.
Well, kind of.
Well, she's blonder than when she came up with that brown hair.
Yeah, well, she's as blonde as she was when she was at Raleigh Supercon. I'm hopeful of this match. I'm not hopeful of Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey.
That's not going to be a match.
No,
they murder.
Yeah, well, I mean, are they keeping people like Asuka or Charlotte away from Ronda because they want it for WrestleMania when this is the first ever women's pay-per-view? Like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Like Asuka's basically fallen off to where she's nothing now after losing her winning streak. Sasha Banks, we finally saw her show up this week and like she did nothing because she's apparently injured. I would actually want to see them do a real Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax match at this point.
Yeah.
That's about the only one that I think could actually take her. Maybe bring back Awesome Kong.
Tamina, sorry.
Tamika?
I was trying to Tamina Snuka. I got it. Tamina.
All right, Tino. I'm going to let you take us out because I am out of gas.
Woo! Woo! You can
Trips.
Catch him on Twitter at PopChack. I'm at HootieFan91. The show is Potsy and Tino. You check us out on Facebook, the Potsy and Tino Show. He is on every other social media site there is as PopChack, Potsy.
Rob Potchak on Instagram.
I'm SC Tino on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. But anyways.
Anyway, we want to say thank you as always to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song. And folks, you hear it off in the distance in the big house on the hill in Charlotte. The Nature Boy is saying, woo!